is the Crows leading by 10 points, 12-7-79 to the Power 11-3-69. You can see the goal kickers on screen, McAdam and Stengel with 3 each. Singles to Murphy, McHenry, O'Brien, and then 2 each to Drew, Cox, Rosie. Howard and Butters have singles. Bix, Hammer. We've had plenty of goals out there today, but some good aggression too. Both sides really having a crack. It's been great to watch.
Yeah, it is, and it's always great fun when you've played internal trials, you've done match simulation against your mates. So the first game in anger is always a lot of fun. You love blowing a bit of steam off. I was just watching Scott Thompson. That's former Crows player Scott Thompson, who is one of the development coaches at Port Adelaide. Went to the club last year, and sometimes it takes a little bit of time, straight out of footy to get your teeth into it. Second pre-season, I'm just interested. I'm sure he's starting to really impart some valuable information.
Yeah, no doubt. Look, Scotty's worked really closely with the midfielders, and particularly the younger midfielders. Willem Drew, Joe Atley, a couple of the young guys, Zach Butters and Connor Rosie, these types of guys that are coming through. So he works really closely with those types of guys. Look, and you'd know, Bix and Rennie, that Scotty Thompson is an absolutely cracking bloke. He's a very laid-back type of character, but you can see he's very passionate about his footy, very passionate about his coaching, and he wants the guys that he's coaching in particular to improve as quickly as possible. So he's just been an outstanding character to have around the club the last couple of years, and no doubt the guys that he's working with are learning plenty from him.
I remember when Rory Sloane first arrived at Adelaide, took Scott Thompson, spent a lot of time with him, particularly around stoppage and the way he used his body, and he really fast-tracked Rory Sloane. So I think some of those young fellas are in really good hands. What about the fact there's been a bit of a change to the coaching personnel? You got Jared Schofield, you mentioned Brett Montgomery during the call. What sort of impact have they had? Yeah,
they've been great. With every new person that you bring into the footy club, particularly coaching staff, you get new ideas. Lots of these guys have had plenty of experience at AFL level and obviously WAFL level for Scully. Dean Brogan's come back on board this year to help out with the rucks part-time. Nathan Bassett's moved from the back line to the forward line. So every time you get those shifts in coaching staff, you get fresh ideas and a fresh perspective on things, and that almost reinvigorates you, I think, as a player. So been really positive impact on the group so far, all 3 of those guys.
10 points the margin here at Thebarton Oval as the sides start to break away for the start of the final term. It was Port Adelaide leading by 11 points at quarter time. The Crows then put on 6 goals to 1 in the second term to take a 21-point lead at half time, but the Power have just eaten away fractionally at that in the third term, and back to 10 points now for this final term. I was
going to say, Rennie, it'd be interesting to see what some of the coaches decide to do. Someone like a Matty Broadbent who's played 3 quarters, did they say that's enough for you, Matty? Brad Crouch would be an obvious one for Adelaide. I thought he's probably shown enough to say he looks like he's going okay. I'd be inclined to put his backside on the bench. And similarly, I reckon Port Adelaide have got 8 or 9 of their first choice players playing today, and of course, the JLT kicks off next week, so there might be some of those guys just who have done enough to say, yep, you can have a rest now, and we'll see you again playing next week.
And just seeing Jared Schofield out there doing a bit of work with some of the younger players too, so fantastic to see him back as well. And now the Crows starting to get ready, and it looks like Brad Crouch is actually going to start inside the centre square for this final term. You've been impressed with him today, Bix?
Yeah, I have. And particularly the second quarter, we started to see some bursts away from stoppage, and you've got a couple of handball receives. So we know he finds the ball in the contest, but when Brad's in really good form, he's actually getting the ball, running in general play and getting handball receives and carrying it. So that's some really good signs for me. Looks fit, look, you can see the muscle definition in him, which means he's had plenty of work over the pre-season. So exciting for Adelaide fans. He didn't play a game last year, and you think about Smith playing 1 or 2 games late. They're 2 guys who are just like genuine recruits, and certainly in your top dozen players.
And Hamish, a chance here for Peter Laddam starting in the centre square in the final term.
Yeah, and a great opportunity for all these guys. The 2 Crows fellas have been around the place for a number of years now, so for guys like Peter and Billy Frampton, who are in their 3rd and 4th years respectively, it's a great opportunity to again improve and impress against some of these guys that are a bit more experienced.
Adam Marnie, son of Wayne, is out there having a run around. He's in the centre square.
He looks like a madman, doesn't he? Have a look at him.
There he is, right on cue.
He's a bull.
Just getting a little touch on it. He's got the long hair, number 41.
That's him.
So good to see him involved. His grandfather, of course, played at Port Adelaide too. And Wayne was really the agitator though, wasn't he? And a 50-metre penalty here.
Well, here's a new 50-metre penalty rule where if you get past the guy on the mark, you can play on advantage as quickly as you want. So that'll add another interesting dynamic to the AFL season, no doubt.
You've got to be right on top of it as players, don't you, Hamish?
Yeah, there's no switching off for a second out there, whether you're in amongst the offence or defence part of the game in the midfield or standing the mark. There's just no rest out there. So a couple of interesting little additions to the season this year.
Well, we just saw a behind. I'll get your thoughts in a moment, Hamish, on kick-outs as Port Adelaide. Here is Marnie getting possession, just a quick handball away. Now another one over the top. And ball goes out of play about 35 metres around from Port's goal. But the kick-ins is interesting. You no longer have to kick to yourself.
That's right, yeah. I've sort of trialled it for the first time a couple of weeks ago at training. It is very odd not having to kick the ball to yourself when you're coming out of the goal square there. And obviously the opposition have to be at least sort of 20 metres away from the goals as well when the opposition are kicking out. So there's plenty more space out there for the kicker, and I think what we'll see is a lot more play that goes end to end and results in score from kick-ins, because there is just far more space for everyone to work into.
And a short kick out this time from the Crows. A rushed behind there. Seymour seeing it through for the Crows. Cuts the margin back to 8.
Mentioned Adam Marnie, son of Wayne. Mitch Mead is also out there, of course, the son of Darren Mead. I think Darren was the inaugural Jack Cale medalist for the best and fairest in the first year of the Power.
Number 33, very good defender for a long time for the Magpies as well. As the ball goes out of play, about 60 metres around from the Power's goal. Doing the attacking early in this final term. A couple of minutes gone. Umpire set to toss this one back in. And Hamish, you look in fine fettle. You're on track, it seems, for round 1, which is great.
Yeah, Rennie, things have really progressed pretty significantly over the last 3 or 4 weeks in particular. Knee's feeling really good and should be right to go for a couple of weeks' time. Oh, no.
Oh, no, he did everything right there, except the finish.
Hey, that's pre-season footy for you, boys.
And that's what it's all about, unfortunately. Oh, lovely little step there from Johnson. Gee, that's good. But to his credit, Scholl stayed with him and he's forced the turnover. Now Gallucci, 2 bounces, inside 50. Good chase there by Frederick. They butter up. Stengel, open goal. Well done, Adelaide. And they've got some breathing space again.
That's goal number 4, is it, for Stengel? And he did a really clever little kick. He had the ball outside 50 and he saw Lockie Murphy was in front of his opponent, so he just did a little dribble kick to put it in front of Murphy to hopefully allow him to pick it up and kick a goal. Murphy couldn't quite finish it off, but there was the reward. Gallucci found him goal side of his opponent and just strolled in and kicked a goal. 4 goals from the small forward. Got a fair mentor in Eddie Betts, so what a thrill for him to be learning his craft under one of the game's sort of eminent or best small forwards.
I didn't mind a bit of his work at Richmond, actually, Tyson Stengel. And after we lost a couple of our smaller forwards this year, I thought we might have a little look at him, but the Crows have picked him up. He could be a good little get for the Crows this season.
Laddams and O'Brien in the ruck. Strong tackle by Drew on Crouch, holding the ball, but that was for the ruck. And here is Marnie. We'll see what he's like on the leg. Not bad. Penetrating kick up inside 50. Seymour, Frampton. Marshall's in there, gets around a would-be tackler. Left foot shot at goal is a beauty.
Is that Mead?
And it might be young Mead. Well done. So the Sons of Guns have been involved early in this final term, and Port just stay in touch.
I think we see there the class that Toddy Marshall possesses. 200 centimetres, but his work on the ground is as good as you'll get from a big fella. See that one-handed pick-up, breaks a tackle, just uses the ball really well, and a nice finish from Mitch Mead, who's he sort of plays as a smaller forward, meaty, and rolls through the midfield from time to time for the Maggies. A little bit different to his old man, but there's a lovely finish on the left foot there from young Mitch Mead. When
you mentioned Todd Marshall, there's a lot of Justin Westhoff about him, isn't there? You'd see at some stage he could push up and play on the wing if he's smart enough to be a loose player in defence if you needed to stop some momentum. Very clever.
No doubt.
So margin much more manageable here now for Port. Just 8 points the difference. 5 minutes gone, final term. 25-minute flat quarters. Really good game of footy as Port look to go forward again. Amon on that left boot. Swings it back inside 50. Good grab, is it? Yes! Billy Frampton on the second attempt. Takes the mark. We saw him make his AFL debut late last year against Essendon. And he's got a chance to pull it back within a kick for his first goal of the afternoon.
Nice work by Amon. Got the handball received, put it in front of the big man Frampton. Didn't let him down. What's he like in front of goal? Tell us about it.
Generally pretty reliable, and I don't want to moz him, but nah, he's got a real nice set shot in for a big fella.
We're right behind him. Yeah, that's like a bullet.
There
Hamish, there is a job for you in broadcasting, my friend.
Look, as you mentioned, Rennie, he made his debut in the last game of last season. He took 4 contested marks, which is pretty happy to tell everyone about. I'll give you that tip, but he kicked a goal in that game as well. But when he gets a decent run and jump at it, being 200 centimetres and with your arms outstretched, it's pretty difficult to defend. So he's got a little bit of work to do with his genuine pack contested marking, bringing the ball to ground in those circumstances. But when he gets a clean run and jump at it, he's pretty reliable. And obviously he's got a great set shot kicking routine as well for a big fella. Now he goes into the ruck. 2
minutes, yeah. We'll see that now. Obviously Ryder and Lysette. Got to be hard for him. He's going to have to play well to crack in, but he's been okay today. We'll see how he goes in the ruck. O'Brien down. Nicely done there by Rosie. Oh, there's this dash. Bonner just weaving through beautifully. And now over the back.
Sammy Gray.
Great pick up. This guy's silky. I really like him as a player. Sam Gray, lovely goal. And Port, all of a sudden, find themselves back in front.
Riley Bonner, he just excites, doesn't he? Sometimes the way he can step through a pack, that's what he did there. Got the handball received, just with the pivot of the hips, he steps past the player. He's got a raking left foot kick. You just hope that at some stage it just all clicks for him. He could be an absolute A-grader, and just wonder at some stage whether he might push up onto a wing and try and fill that void left by Jared Pollock.
Oh, he's definitely got that capability. For Riley, it's only his, I think he's just going into his 4th season, so he's still a very young guy. I think as professional people, we often get caught on focusing on what people can't do and perhaps their deficiencies, whereas I think we should concentrate more so on what people are really good at. And Riley's run and carry and disposal of the footy is exceptional for us as a group.
11 goal kickers now for the Power, as the Crows this time go forward. Fogarty. Port, though, with the numbers back. And the kick from Garner is okay. And the mark taken by Mead. Ready with a goal in this term, so he'd be delighted with that. Goes long, up the line, looking for a target. He kicks to a 2-on-3, and Port will be very happy. It's come out to Marnie. He could go in and have a shot at goal. Just needs to size it up. He does so. It's swinging back. Not quite enough.
Not the most fluent-looking kicking style from Big Marns there, was it? But looks reasonably effective.
Well, he's a big guy. He seems to
fit unit, isn't he?
Colour the ground okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a bit of Paul Northeast about it, wasn't there, with the ball drop? Not quite as pronounced. Nice grab there by Strawn. He comes in board. Crows now looking for some transition up towards centre wing. Ball off hands. Not quite picked up there. Comes to ground. And we're sure we're going to get a hold in the ball. That's a hot call.
The umps are pretty keen to get play going, aren't they?
Indeed.
Amon. Now up to a 1-on-1, a bit of holding going on there. Umpire said it's okay. Ball over the back, now out of bounds. And that's the thing, yeah. The umpire, some weeks it can be a bit hotter than others, but that was a very quick call.
That's right. I think that's what most people would prefer to see in a game like this anyway, is just to keep the ball moving and see what the players are capable of doing rather than stoppage after stoppage. As long as it's consistent across the game, then no issues with that.
Trailed by 10 points at three-quarter time, Port, but they find themselves in front. Quick kick forward here from Adelaide, up towards centre wing again, but Port doing well. Although, here's McAdam, chopped off by Bonner to Frederick. He wants to have a shot. He's outside 50. He gives it everything he's got.
Stay in the back pocket, Hardy. What are you doing up there, mate? He lost his mind.
His eyes lit up like dinner plates when he saw the goals. Interesting, though, if we see a game more like today where it is open, just wonder whether it does suit blokes like Bonner and Amon, some of those guys who can get on the end of it and really run and carry. That just might give them more opportunity to showcase what they've got.
Oh, no doubt. And I think, the Crows, I read something in the paper this morning or yesterday about added run that they're going to try and produce this year, and with having guys like Brodie Smith back will obviously add to that. But you know, Wayne Miller and these types of guys will certainly be advantaged by this type of gameplay.
Todd Marshall just on the sidelines waiting to come onto the ground as Gallucci handballs to Baholke. It's been pretty solid today towards centre wing, and free kick paid here. Going the way of the big man, Fogarty. So Adelaide haven't had too many opportunities. They've kicked the one goal in this final term. That came away of Stengel with a bad turnover there. I'll be disappointed with that. And Port now, just a little bit of possession. All the way across to Burton. 47 games, of course. Here is Marshall. He's on the ground. He's screaming for it.
Off the instep.
And he was all alone, but unfortunately the execution not quite there from Burton, who's usually a lovely kick. And it's McHenry now, who started the game with a bang, didn't he? Really, Biggs.
Yeah, look, attacks the ball really hard.
Now Seymour, lovely kick. You heard the call from Hamish Hartlett. Lowered the eyes, good lead. Fogarty takes the mark and will line up from just outside 50. Here's a booming kick. And this to put the Crows back in front.
That's one thing he can do, Darcy Fogarty, is just present to the footy. So he was able to time his lead. There was just a slither of space there. Beautiful kick. Didn't have to break stride, but he marks it beautifully in front of his eyes. And we saw him kick one from right on 50. He'll have to do exactly the same to be successful here. 10
games, 9 goals last season. Bit of a stop-start year, but good to see him getting some senior footy. He doesn't hit it as sweetly as he would like, and he's just hooked it through for one behind, and the margin back to 4 points as we come up to the 12-minute mark in this final term. 25-minute flat quarters, so we're nearly halfway through this final term.
Here's the kick-outs again. We'll take note of how they go about it. Going short this time.
And that's okay. Worked it well. And now out to Pat Moore. Handball over the top. It's going to work well. Now they go long, up the line. Just slight hands in the back, resting though, so the umpire said it was legal. Sam Gray with the handball. Back in board, Frampton. Crouch, lays the tackle. Ball spills to ground, another strong tackle. Umpire says play on. Ball still in dispute out there. Frampton goes after it again. Hewitt, he wouldn't have seen the man coming. Strong tackle, and holding the ball is the call. And probably the right one.
Lockie Murphy was
He's been good.
Yeah, he's got a savage haircut with the long sort of mullet at the back with the shaved sides. Yeah.
Found the blokes with the curlier hair tend to go with that look. I know Darcy Byrne-Jones has been rolling that look a fair bit this pre-season. They've got the sort of the curly bloody mohawk sort of thing going on with the shaved sides. So, yeah.
Yeah, generally want to get a kick when you have those haircuts.
He's been pretty good today, Lockie Murphy. Yep. Nice and tidy with the footy.
Yeah, he got a good left foot kick, doesn't he? This guy's also been good. Not his best effort there. Butters. Underground kick didn't work out. Hunter, bit of courage needed there by Gallucci and Burton, both players showing it. Another little kick forward. Hewitt, Burton. He just hoofs it long, up the line. Marshall one-on-one with Keith. Enjoyed that battle, and that's a really nice mark by Alex Keith.
Yeah, look, that wouldn't be out of place in a showdown. These two players could very easily find themselves playing on each other, and we know that with Daniel Talia in summed out for perhaps the start of the year and Kyle Hardigan having an interrupted pre-season, Keith probably looks likely as a starter.
And been pretty good today. Marshall just the one goal. Frampton now, though, going forward. Power up inside 50. Strong leap there by Marshall. Ball comes to ground. Oh, big hip and shoulder there. Here is Marshall again. Just tried to soccer it forward. Couldn't quite get on it. Then lays a big tackle. Umpire says, I'll have it. Ball up about 30 metres out from Port's goal.
Aidan Johnson's an interesting one. Yeah. Hamish, he looks to have all the attributes. He's got speed, he's aggressive. He just cannot really cement that spot in the side over the last couple of years.
Yeah, there's one bloke you don't want fizzing around as a defender. Exactly. When the ball's on the ground is Aidan Johnson, because while he's only reasonably small in stature, he absolutely hits with all his might. So you're right, Bix. He just hasn't quite cemented himself. He's really done a lot of work on his skill level this year, this pre-season, which was a big focal point for him. So that should hold him in a bit better stead for getting regular games this season. But he's he's a good lad. He's a very, very funny man, AJ. And yeah, as I mentioned, he doesn't mind laying a bit of body onto you when he gets the opportunity.
And with Chad Wingard missing, there's a spot up there, isn't there, for the small dynamic forward?
Yeah, no doubt. And we probably feel like we've added a couple of those guys, Zach Butters and Connor Rosie, into the mix that can perhaps fulfil that role. But Aiden, as he takes a mark here about 40 metres out on a slight angle, AJ will certainly be looking to fill that void as well.
Well, you've done it beautifully, boys.
Got a sense of theatre, hasn't he?
Good crystal balling. You were talking about him, and now he takes the mark. He's a player that was taken at pick 45 in 2015. 10 games. He's kicked 8 goals in his senior career. See what he's like from just inside 50. It's not too bad. It's just away to his right and through for one behind.
He's definitely become a lot more reliable in front of goals this pre-season. His set shot kicking routine looks a lot more fluent, far more reliable. I think what we just saw then again, boys, was an example of what Zach Butters is capable of as well. In heavy traffic, he hooked the ball to a position that you wouldn't usually find and found a target.
Now Mitch Johnson's kick was intercepted. And Drew goes long and he kicks his third, and that gives Port just a little bit of breathing space.
You've been impressed with him. You mentioned right off the top when you come on just after half-time you liked his first half, and goal-kicking midfielders, I tell you what, they're very valuable. And for the young man, spent a fair bit of time on Brad Crouch as well. He's got 3 goals now, so well done to him.
Yeah, he's laid some really strong tackles on the inside of the contest on Crouch as well on a couple of occasions. He works incredibly hard from contest to contest, both offensively and defensively, Drewy, and obviously can finish in front of the big sticks as well. So there's heaps to like about him. He's a good size, and I'm glad he's finally been able to string a lot of footy together over the past 3 or 4 months, because he's worked super hard over the last few years.
Kicked 4 of the 5 goals in this final term, the Power, and that gives them an 11-point lead. 17 minutes gone in this final term, or just about, as they go forward again. And this one would really hurt if they can get it. Butts, though, for Adelaide. Tackle, great tackle. Hear the applause from the crowd. They love it. No prior.
Yeah, it was Kane Farrell. Oh, it was stiff, I would have thought, to have been paid a free kick there. But it's Kane Farrell with the ball, left footer, so pretty difficult kick from here. Super skills. You know, Kane is a very talented young guy. He's actually got a booming kick on him as well when he sinks the leg into it. So
played the final 5 games of last year.
Yes.
Kicked 3 goals in the Showdown, Hammer.
That's right. Yeah, he's a smart young player. He's quite strong, quite explosive. He's got good hands. So hasn't done a great deal today, Faz. But again, he's working off limited training over the past few weeks. So.
Type of guy doesn't need.
He doesn't need
20 touches, does he? He's one of those opportunist guys in that Showdown. He had 3 very early on from just half chances.
Here's Marnie just bombing it up inside 50, ball over the back. Butts under some pressure, needs to be clean. Ball spills out. And now Keith running after it. Little toe poke forward. Comes out to Amon. He'll want that left boot. It's a good kick. Dangerous spot, but the Crows have all the numbers. And here's Seymour. That could be a free kick. It is. Umpire will give advantage. Crouch. Handball's over the top. He's going to get it back. Little 1-2. Build the numbers. Nicely done. And this is good transition here from Adelaide.
You're in a bit of strife here, the
big
Power.
Man out the back.
Stengel.
Big Strawn or whatever his name is.
Strawn. Can he grab it? Oh, has he done enough? He's got a little shove. So he's 204 centimetres, so it's going to be a high ball drop.
Surely he's nicknamed Shirley.
Where's he come from, fellas?
He's on the rookie list.
South Bendigo he's from.
Oh, nice.
Recruited from Port Melbourne.
Yep.
And
skill level for a big fella? Reliable? Biggs?
You might need to give us a few more weeks. Haven't seen a lot of Kieran.
Not too sure just yet.
I'm suggesting that
he looks pretty confident.
He does.
Yeah, I wouldn't know, would I really? Haven't seen a lot of him.
We'll get a look at the ball drop here. It can be awkward for the ruckman. Some better than others.
Okay, it was, yeah.
I'm glad I didn't go too hard on him. He's kicked it out of bounds on the full.
Rennie, you called it early. It was a very, very high ball drop for the big fella. That's all right. Got in a good spot. Nice leading pattern out the back of the defenders there. So.
And a bit of a project player, 23 years of age. He's got a nice size about him already, but he'll bulk up over the next couple of years, no question. As the Power goes short. Nice mark taken there from Amon.
Blood rule, I think.
And it might be from when he took that mark, which was a free kick in the end for Strawn. So coming from the field.
So when you look at Adelaide, they're not overly blessed with ruckman. You look at Port Adelaide, you've probably got 4 or 5 guys potentially who could be ruckman. Adelaide, it's Jacobs, and you've got O'Brien.
Yep.
You've got who else?
Hunter.
Hunter, and now the young man in Strawn. So they've got a couple of guys on there, 2 ruckmen on the rookie list, and only a couple on their main list. Yeah,
we've obviously got Paddy and Scotty Lossett, who we feel complement each other really well this year, and then other than that, we've got a couple of younger guys that are still definitely developing. We've seen Frampton and Laddams today, and the other one is probably Charlie Dixon, who, when he's fit, can sort of roll through there as well. And
Sam Hayes, the other one.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, my ACL buddy, Sammy Hayes, he's a little way away yet, but he could almost be the pick of the bunch in years to come.
Which is exciting to hear as Port go forward. Marnie, been busy in this last quarter to Farrell. Gets into some trouble, gets the handball away, then butters up with a tackle. Hunter stands up nice and strong in that tackle. Handball's away, ball out of play. The Crows will need one here in the next minute or so. 4 minutes left in this match. They trail by 12 points, 25-minute flat quarters. Been a good game here at Thebarton Oval. No injuries, plenty of promise from the youngsters on both sides.
Trent McKenzie back out there, Phils, or not? After that big knock that he copped.
He might be the one.
He's the only one, I think. Yeah, might be something to do with concussion.
So kick there by Broadbent. Enjoyed his work today. Hamish, he's been really good.
As I mentioned earlier, the guys with AFL experience, you can really notice a difference. Just a really cool, calm head with the footy. I've been fortunate enough to play a lot of footy with Brogsy ever since we were in about under 12s together. We've pretty much played in every team. And he's always been one of the cleanest players I've ever played with. And even after spending a long period of time out of the game, as soon as he came back to training, you just notice the difference between his clean hands. Makes great decisions with the footy.
Still only 28. He looks a bit older, unfortunately. But
he does. He does. The old hairline's back.
You blokes are
a few inches. It's funny. We're only about a week apart in age, but I look like I'm about 22, and he looks like he's about 40.
And there he is right there. And you're right. He could be another Bix. You spoke about them. New recruit for Port this year.
Well, it's been remarkable as well because he rarely missed a game, did he? For long periods. Then, of course, he had that freak accident and he's missed a lot of footy. So let's hope he gets back into that routine and just gets back to playing every week.
Statting up at the moment. Is that about 6 uncontested possessions?
You'd be pumped
in the last couple of minutes.
If they had Dream Team on today, you'd be pumped if you had him.
Yeah, he'd be going for about 80 grand as well, I reckon.
He'd be cheap. That's a great mark. Yeah, that's a nice mark by Murphy, who we've been impressed with. He wheels around quickly. Need a goal here, the Crows. Right to the top of the square, but fisted through for one behind. And the margin now 11 points as we get into the final couple of minutes here at Thebarton Oval.
Yeah, so a couple of minutes left. I think, as we just saw then, Brogsy's taking his time. Obviously, the clock's still running, so boys will be looking to chew up as much time as possible. These are the really critical moments of games. When you've got a small lead towards the end of the game and you need to hold on to it. These are the types of plays that we've been practicing a fair bit over the last few months, and the Crows, I'm sure, will have something in mind to try and get the ball back and be super aggressive to try and score.
A pretty smart play there, just going up the line, close to the boundary line, and a wonderful kick from Garner. Mark taken by Cox, who is just looking to chip it around. And the umpire's
out of bounds.
Oh, he's been called to play on. He was standing out of bounds, so it's going to be a throw-in. I'm not sure he moved off his mark, but anyway. So just over a minute left.
They should hold on. 11 points the margin. Port in front. They've come from 21 points down at half-time. Margin got out to almost 6 goals in the third quarter, but they've come storming home. Now getting through, here is Paholke. Little kick forward. Brad Crouch tries to don't argue. Frederick in there, just paddles it forward. Jones goes after it. Johnson coming the other way, Drew in there. Knight did it well. McHenry, sells some candy. And again! That was well done. Here's Broadbent, who's had about 8 touches in the last 3 or 4 minutes. Sam Gray, his kick smothered. Jones there. Good pressure there from both sides and a lovely little step or two from McHenry.
Who got sold that first bit of candy? Was that Cam Hewitt or Sam Gray, that first one? That was nice.
Just have a look here.
Cam Hewitt. Cam Sam's almost ended up in the grandstand. He went that far past him.
He thought that was pretty easy the first one. I'll go again. He just got held up in the second one.
Here's Drew now. Umpire's blown the whistle, though. It's coming back. And it's going the way of the Crows. Time just going to beat them.
Barrel.
Needs to get it on quickly, doesn't he? He goes short. Crouch. He's going to pop it right to the top of the square. Siren might just beat them. It does. And there it is. Port Adelaide holding on. 11 points the margin in the end. The Power 15-8-98. The Crows 13-9-87. But boys, a lot to like from both sides today. Yeah,
it was absolutely fantastic. I love the fact there was 28 goals kicked, which was great. We saw some of the young players show what they're capable of. We saw some of the older guys that we talked of last couple of touches of the match with Brad Crouch and also Matty Broadbent. So probably the most important thing that looks like both teams escaped unscathed, and they got a really nice hit out. And just that one maybe issue for Trent McKenzie, Hammer, but hopefully not too serious. He looked to be okay, but maybe just a little bit sore after getting hit pretty hard in a marking contest.
Yeah, he looked a little bit groggy. I think he might have copped a hip or something of the like from Dougal Howard in a bit of a marking contest just down in front of us. But with any luck, Trent will be all right in a day or two. 28 goals kicked for the game, 13-9-87 for the Crows, 15-8-98 for the Power. Willem Drew with 3 goals for the Power. Tobin Cox with 2 and Connor Rosie with 2. And for the Crows, Tyson Stengel in his first official hit out, I suppose, in Crows colours, finished with 4, and Shane McAdam with 3. So some really great signs from a lot of young players. And I think what we did see today, guys, is how much of an impact some of the new rules are actually going to play as well this season. With the kick out and the centre bounce rule, it's just going to open the game up a lot more. And 28 goals in a game that was constricted a little bit with time is a great result. Yeah, and those rules will be on display, well, not so much next week because it's the JLT, but really looking forward to this match. It's next Saturday, 3:40 p.m, Memorial Oval at Port Pirie. Big's really looking forward to that one. It should be sensational between the Crows and Port. Yeah, spent a lot of money up there. They had a big grant and they've refurbished the whole oval and that whole sports precinct, so that's going to be absolutely fantastic. Hamish, thank you very much. Really enjoyed the second half, giving us your insights into Port Adelaide's pre-season and some of the younger players. No, you're welcome, fellas, and thanks for everyone out there for tuning in. Great stuff. Hamish Hartlett joining us in commentary for the second half today. Fantastic to have Sam Jacobs in the first half, and good luck to Hamish for the rest of the year. Great news with him being announced as the vice-captain during the week to help out with the 2 co-captains, Ollie Wines and Tom Jonas. Biggs, fantastic from you. Thanks so much for your work today. No, my pleasure. Thank you for your professionalism. A lot of new players out there. I don't think you've missed too many at all. You're a star, Tommy. Great work, Biggs. Fantastic. And thanks for listening today and tuning in. We really appreciate it. Today, it was the Power by 11 points. Have a great day, and we'll catch you soon.